Happy New
Happy
Year!
New Year, everybody. Hi. Hi,
Hello.
Tim.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm so great. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. Tired still from the New Year, but doing good.
Yeah, it seems like you slid in pretty hard in the new year. You look a little
Yeah, I did slide into it pretty hard.
I like it. I hope it was a whole lot of fun though, too.
It was fun. It was. It was. I
That's
hosted a party
wonderful.
of like 25 people at my house.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah,
How much fun with kids and everybody.
kids and everybody.
Love it. What
Yep,
a party.
it was. It's why my background's blurred. My house is still trashed from it.
Right. Oh, okay. That's the reason. I see. I see. That's okay. Everybody understands. It's no big deal.
Yeah,
We here for the content, not for the cleanliness of your home.
exactly.
Yeah. So I'm so excited to do this, our first webinar in the new year. I'm super stoked. I'm super excited. Um, I was thinking about what we're going to talk today, and then I feel like we came up with like a really good topic for today. So you want to slide us in for what we're going to talking about today?
Yeah, I think we're going to talk about the three traits that really stand out and make it you a good fit to work in this industry.
Oh, yes.
What
I
do you
think
think?
that's a great topic.
Yeah.
Yes, I think this is great. Three
Okay.
good characteristics or three good, character assets to have if you are thinking about entering the hospitality world, if you are debating to switch maybe to this beautiful industry, or if kind of like just wondering if this is even something that you should consider.
Hmm.
I feel like, yeah, there's our three good things that we both feel that people should have.
Yeah. Good. Do you want to start us off with the first thing?
Yes, why not? So I feel like the first thing that people should really have or bring if they want to enter the world of hospitality is to really understand that this is an absolute people person driven like industry.
Yeah.
So with other words, if you feel that you are a very shy person or a quite timid person, that's still okay. But this might be a good way of you, like a learning curve, a learning lesson for you to really feel like that you wanting to step out of your comfort zone. Like you want to be really able to freely speak to guests in any kind of environment. It could be also not only guests, but it could also be obviously be your coworkers, where there's a lot of communication needed in specific fields, like for instance, accounting,
Yeah.
right? Wouldn't you say that your coworkers at accounting should be very verbal in voicing what
Oh,
they need? And
tons of coding invoices and then going through a P&L and talking about why there are problems or why you miss your number in food costs or labor costs or yeah, it's very, very communication driven between every department of the house.
yeah, it's huge. And I also feel like it's very imperative for people to know that when they want to enter this industry, that it's really about your personality. Like a lot of times it does matter, of course, what you bring to the table with your schooling and your knowledge and all your amazing degrees, but really it does matter what type of personality you are. Like, are you outgoing? Are you friendly naturally? Are you like really here to do the best that you can? Are you ready to walk the extra mile? Are you like
Yeah.
ready to step out and, show your personality and take charge and take lead? Because if you're a waiter and you have a 10 top, for instance, you really need to be comfortable and, confident in your own self to really break down the menu, like talk about the specials, talk about wine, like be basically the entertainer on the floor for your guests, right? And sometimes that can be, a little bit intimidating because I know it from my own back in the days experience. I know it when I see training people that, for instance, if it's a pretty girl and there's a bunch of smart, intelligent, successful men sitting, it can get a little bit intimidating for like, oh man, everybody, looking at me or whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
But you
yeah.
got to be
Yeah.
yeah, you got to be comfortable and in yourself to really know why you're here and what your job is at the time, right?
Yeah, and to be hospitable, to really, I think you said it when when you said to walk the extra mile. That's you're really there to make sure someone has a great time and a great evening, or afternoon, and it's you're much more than an order taker. If you're a server, you are hosting someone. You're there to kind of go the extra mile, make sure they have a great time and come back.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And also enjoy their time, like you said, because these days, people really do have the choice, like they always did, guests. They don't have to be in our establishment. They don't have to be choosing, specific people to do a job for them. And if you personality wise don't click or you don't mesh well, you cannot adapt. And I'm not saying be fake. I'm saying like be understanding and being adaptable and being fake. There's a huge difference. You got to be able to, kind of like really melt into your environment and really melt with personalities that you're working with, because sometimes you cannot choose your coworkers or your guests, right? And you still got to be really giving your good effort and making people feel that they made the right choice of hiring you or coming to your establishment, depending from what perspective we're looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that about sums up being a people person. I think we did good with that.
Yeah.
So number 2, I think, is being detail oriented. You've really got to be able to pay attention to the details of what someone's asking for, and even kind of reading between the lines and making sure if they're ordering a hamburger that you get it right and get it for them the way they want it. If you're working as a server, but also even in back of the house, detail oriented. When you've got 10 tickets lined up and you're making each one, you've got to really pay attention to the details of each order and make sure that person gets what they want. Same thing for accounting. It's all details and numbers and making sure everything goes in its right place.
Yeah, I think that makes so much sense, especially, also feel like with detail comes also being attentive, like really being attentive to not only your job, but also to your environment, right? And to your other coworkers and to your guests, and really, understanding that the more you are attentive and the more you are really detailed working and kind of like structured working, and you have like a good, like a good way of getting stuff done, let's just say, it's kind of like easy to remain like a good work pace too. Like there's nothing going to be out of line if you know where to go, what to do at what time frame or whatever. And you paying it, like you said, paying attention to those details, especially in front of the house. It's imperative that we really save a lot of information, like when and what and how and who came when and who had what and what do we need to ask if this is being ordered, or in accounting, what do we need to add? Like, what is the next step to really be successful on continuous basis?
Yeah. There's a lot of attention to detail and using checklists and procedures to try to make sure you get the accounting right.
Right. I so agree. Yes. What's number 3?
Number 3, I would say, is having a good memory.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. It goes back to being a people person and being detail oriented. But I think on top of that, having a good memory really helps you remember people's favorite drinks and people's names, because you're going to meet a lot of people every day. And I think Dale Carnegie said the number one thing people like to hear is their own name. And
how true.
Yeah, I think it's important that you have a good memory for lots of details.
Yeah. Especially when it comes to pleasing your guests, or like really wanting to be on top of your tables, or like on top of your your workspace wherever you work at, because this can be applied to, or all of our 3 things I feel like can be applied to any department of hospitality. It could be concierge, it could be the spa, it could be the golf shop, it could be the reception, it could be housekeeping, it could be basically anywhere, right? Because when you are, for instance, in housekeeping and you're cleaning a room for the next 3 days from the same guest, and you happen to see them in and out, and you just, approach them with a name because you have lists. And it tells you what room and what's the name and who's the person in the room. And it's always nice to approach people, like you said, in a friendly way, or like people entering the restaurant or the reception and you already know them. It's wonderful to say hi to them with their own name, or remember their favorite drink, or remember that they told you about their dog last time they were here. Or, it's like, again, like you said, back to the detail, being oriented, but as well, being attentive and having a great memory of really remembering.
And then, like you said, for a housekeeper, if someone's you're cleaning a room for someone for 3 days, they ask for something on the first day, it really shows you went the extra mile if you do it the second and third day too. And they realize that you have lots of rooms to clean and that they're one on a list, but it makes them feel special. And that's
Totally.
the meaning of hospitality right there, is making someone feel special and like you went out of your way to please them.
Yes, and going the extra mile. I feel like that's really what old school hospitality used to be. Because remember, really back in the days when you would check in into a hotel and you'd have that amazing chocolate on your pillow.
Yeah.
I miss those days, literally, like the little note that you would enter in the room. And literally, it doesn't have to be even a 5, 6-star anything. It could be literally the simplest, beautiful hotel, as long as it's clean and hygienically really driven, which is huge in the industry, like really being clean and on top of your any kind of department. And you just little notes, just welcoming your guests, like you said, welcoming your guests with little details like a small bowl of fruit, or if you know that they're vegetarians, maybe just pay attention to that, like have already the reception know about that, tell them about the, vegetarian menu in the restaurant, like little bit of detail, and more extra mile of literally paying attention to everybody's specific needs, right?
Yep, that's exactly it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So is there anything else you wanted to add about the top 3 personality traits that will help you succeed?
I feel like one of them is really imperative. Smile. If like you really want to smile because you want to smile, right? If you are a little bit grunchy already, or your personality, or you're not in a good space in your life or wherever, entering hospitality, at least front of the house, might not be such a good idea, because you want to smile. Like smiling is contagious, like if people smile and you have like, a really friendly approach.
Contagious. If you're grumpy,
energy,
everybody.
Right. I feel like, and that's number 2. So it's a smile, have wonderful outgoing energy, and just really be yourself. If anything, there's no need to be anybody but your amazing, wonderful, created self. Right. And if you really are rooted in that, smiling comes automatic. Being friendly comes automatic. If you really are rooted in yourself and you love yourself for who you are, you just, let me wheel that back, not necessarily love, because that was hard for me to learn, but at least accept, really accept yourself.
Yeah.
I feel like all of those things come automatically, and you will just really feel how hospitality is kind of like hugging you, because those hugs, they come back from everywhere.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that's it. I think we did a good job summing it up.
Okay, well, thank you so much for listening, everybody. We hope you tune in next week.
Yep.
Bye. And leave us comments, please. Just feel free to engage. Leave us comments if there's anything we didn't touch base on. If you want to say what you have to say, feel free to say it.
Yeah, if we missed your top personality traits or reasons to go into the industry or traits to go in, leave them in the comments. Let us know.
Add them.
Yep.
Okay.
Bye now.
Bye.